Welcome to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle and Mark. We're kind of in on our own tonight.
It does appear to be that way, doesn't it, Lyle?
We had a guest scheduled to be here. His name was Josh Turner with Crappieman Jigs. I'm not sure if something has come up or he's got children and different things going on, and maybe he just forgot about it. But maybe he'll come in a little bit. I sent him a link, and we'll see if he comes in and does the show with us here pretty soon. I believe he's on Eastern time, so maybe we got to mix up in the time or something. We'll see how that works out. But in the meantime, Bud, it's just me and you.
That's all right. We can handle this. We've done it before. We just hope that everything's okay with him,
Absolutely.
Obviously.
We don't want him to have any kind of issues going on, and hopefully he just forgot. If he did, we'll just set him up another time and get him back on here. But I will tell you that this is what him and his dad makes. I don't know how.
Oh, it's green. Must be green, isn't it?
Yeah, they're yellow, kind of chartreuse, Crappieman jigs, and they make tadpoles and several other kinds of plastics and stuff like that. I find them very interesting. Stephen also makes some really nice videos. They're very informative. Even tells you places that he fishes.
That's I can kind of understand. It all depends on what it is. Where you fish, as to what conditions you're fishing, I think is even a little more important. If someone's willing to tell you depths and the type of areas they're fishing, you could pretty much play on that any given day. So
exactly, I think he fishes out on Lake Murray.
I'm not familiar with that, but
I'm not either. But I mean, he catches a lot of crappie, and I'm interested in that.
Speaking of catching a lot of crappie, did you catch SK's live chat last night?
I got the very end bit of it. We had a storm roll through here, and I had no electricity for 2 or 3 hours, so I didn't get to see any of the part that with their guest in there. But I hadn't
Lamar.
Yeah, they say he was really, really good.
He was really good. I really enjoyed listening to him. The guy's a crappie slayer. I mean, he got into how he changed from spider rigging to livescope, where he thinks he can outfish somebody spider rigging with a livescope, which really appealed to me. I'm eyeballing that bad, Lyle.
Yeah, I know. And you're talking about one Poland, right?
Yes, sir. He's beaten 4 poles, double jigged, and he's beating them with 1 pole and a livescope.
Dude, that's getting it on.
That is. And he was talking about how he can pick the big ones out of a pile. Now we're talking my kind of language. When you've got a limit and you're fishing a tournament, if you're able to do something like that, it's game on, my friend.
That's it. I got a message Turner said send the link again.
Perfect.
I'm going to try that.
Maybe while you're doing that, I can start saying hello to some people in chat.
Absolutely, man.
All right. We got 2 stands fishing. Couple crosses fishing. Betty, how are you? Alan Pirshala. Avid fisherman. Brian B. Catfishing. Carmel Muncie. I believe that's a new one. Welcome, Carmel. Carolina Catfish. Chad Nolte. Chrissy Brown. Clearview Outdoors. What's up, Stu? Country Boy Catfishing. Creole Catfishing, Dan's Creation and Adventures, Dave Garchar. What's going on, Dave? Pardon me if I butchered your name. Forgive me. Eric Burnside. Eric, hopefully you're parked. You're not still driving. Eric Massey Jig Company. What's going on, Eric? How are you, sir? Ernie Brown, Fins and Finds, Fishing with Squirrel, Fishing with the Chad. Hey, while we're here, Fishing with the Chad, if you guys could go back and get Chad's URL and share it out on your social media. Let's get Chad some subs. He works hard for it. He's entertaining us every week. I know he's a friend of everybody here in the chat. Let's show him some support and some love and get him some subs.
Absolutely.
All right. Fish and Cooking with Mike Chavez. Mike, I got to see. I think he has a video about some green chili that he made. I got to check that out. We were talking about chili in the other chat before this, so we'll talk about that later. Fish in the Mid-South had a great video this week. Get hooked on D Fishing. What's up, D? Greenwell Fishing. Wow, we got a lot of people in here. James Dockery Fishing. What's up, James? How you doing, sir? Miss Janice DeMint. Hello, Janice. Jason Warren. John Boy's Catfishing. I don't want to hog all saying hello to all these people. Al, you want to say hello to some of these people?
You're doing fine. I'm waiting to see if I mean, I'll help you, but
That's okay. I'm keeping reading down the list as they come in.
Stephen just joined us.
We got Gabby's dad in the house, Laura the Explorer, LG Bass, Michael Morello, Midwest Custom Jigs, Mike Irvin, Mike Sampson. What's up, Sampy? Mo Creek Fishing. Hey, Rob. Muskrat Adventures. 1 Ton Fishing Club. Outside with the Haze. P. City Smitty Catfishing. Papa Ed. Ray Smith. Rex Blocker. Sogo. Team Cross Fishing. What's up, Brandon? The Bullock Experience. The Wandering Fisherman. Turner Fishing, and Uncle Lou. If I missed anybody, you came in after I went through the list. I apologize. If I noticed that during the show, I'll be happy to give you a shout out as I see it. But you got to remember, I'm getting up there in the years. It's hard for me to keep up with everybody, Lyle.
Are you saying you're old?
I'm getting there.
Are you as old as me?
I might feel it sometimes.
Okay, that's good. Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How about you?
We're doing good. We're glad you made it. Sorry you had trouble with the link. I thought maybe something might have come up, and
I guess I never got the first email that you sent.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. You're here now. That's all.
Yeah.
You been fishing?
Oh yeah. We got all that tornadic activity today, so I didn't go out there today.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I got a tournament Saturday, so that'd be fun.
Heck yeah.
Fantastic. Hey, Steve, my name's Mark. Nice to meet you finally. Glad everything's all good. I'm glad everything's okay your way, so we're happy to see you. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to show them these baits that I got from you some time ago. I haven't got to try them out yet, but I've got the green screen, so they don't show up very well. But these are imitation tadpoles, aren't they?
Perfect.
Yeah, them are awesome, man. They feel just so realistic, and when you.
So this is a new color. We call this like a shad kind of. I don't know. It's working pretty good though.
Have to have some of them too, huh? I feel like this bag. I didn't order enough the first time, so I may have to redo that.
I could just send you some if you want some.
No,
it's not a big deal.
We'll order some from you. We're here to support everybody.
Absolutely, yeah. I just we're so excited about this whole deal with crappie and panfish of all kinds and getting started with it. It's just so calming compared to where we've been in the past, and I'm very anxious for it to take off and be good. And I watched a lot of your videos, and you catch a lot of crappie, and I thought maybe you would share some of how-tos with us.
Oh yeah, anything. Right now they're going on beds here, so the next 2 weeks should be a lot of fun.
Okay, now when you say here, where is here?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay.
What kind of water temps are you talking? What kind of weather are you guys looking at?
Last week it was, I think it got up to around 65 in the back of pockets. So, but we just had this little cold front, so it probably made them stop, but they should go next week.
We're pushing 42 up here in northern Illinois, so we're still working on those ice out crappies, waiting on them to come into the flat. So there's a little bit of difference there. So.
Oh yeah. I couldn't do the ice. I bundle up when it's 30 degrees outside.
That's t-shirt weather, hoodie weather. So you're looking for them on the beds already? They're getting ready to spawn, or are they in pre-spawn patterns still?
Well, we fished the Strike King Big Bass Challenge Sunday, and a lot of the bass were up there spawning. So I'm guessing the next time I get on the water, that's probably what I'm going to fish for, is around the bushes and stuff. So
is that a good indicator for you after the bass come off is when the crappie will go in?
Yeah, well, I mean, they both go around the same time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just around that 62-degree water mark is where I start looking.
Very cool. And how did you do?
Oh, in the Strike King?
Yeah.
I think we got about $600 out of
nice.
The whole ordeal. So we made our money back, definitely.
That's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm really not really familiar with the tournament scene, so I might have a lot of questions about that. So when you get into a tournament, how do you pick where you're fishing? How do you start? Where do you begin?
Literally on my screen to the left or whatever, I have Navionics and Google Earth because I'm going to Clarks Hill Saturday to fish a lake, and I've never fished it. Mm-hmm. So I'm literally just trying to find something different, and then I'm going to go try. But with the crappie and stuff, like in the crappie tournament, it's all about electronics now. honestly. Like, I've got mega imaging, which is just phenomenal, and I ordered livescope this week, so that's coming soon to the channel, and I'm really excited for that, just to be able to target the bigger fish instead of having to weed through the little ones.
So what is your channel name?
Turner Fishing.
Turner
Right here.
Fishing. If somebody could look up Turner Fishing and post the link up in chat, that would be great. I would appreciate it. And how long you been fishing crappie tournaments?
About 4 years, like just on and off about 4 years. And I mean, I do a lot of bass tournaments also, so it was kind of, I guess I'm crappie and bass.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Lyle?
Sir?
Are you ready to get into some tournaments with me? Maybe we should start doing that one of these days.
You know, I've only kind of tournaments that I fished crappie tournaments years ago and some bass tournaments back in the 1980s. I'm guessing things has changed a little bit since then, but ever since then, I've been fishing catfish tournaments. But yeah, I'd give it a shot. I just want to get on some because I like to eat them and I want to catch. Now, I know a lot of people don't do a lot of videos on bluegills, but they're my favorite. Although I dearly love to eat them crappie. I mean, I just do. But I like to catch them bluegills. I think they fight so hard for what they are, and they're plentiful. You know, you don't have any problem finding them usually. So that's my goal for the year is to get on a bunch of good crappie and take them, a few of them home to eat and get on some of them big old bluegills and see what they're like. I know that we got a bunch of them in Lake Ozark and Truman and Palm de Terre, and I'm guessing, don't you fish Moultrie or something down there?
You're talking about Santee? I've fished it a couple of times. I don't really have a lot of experience on Santee.
Oh, okay. But I know that there's some giant red ears down there.
Oh yeah. I think John Oneover's in the chat now. He catches some big ones.
Yes, he does.
We had him on last week, and he showed us a couple of his mounts, and they were to say impressive would be an understatement.
Yeah,
now we've got a lake beside this one called Lake Monticello. It's a hydroplant lake where it's warm pretty much all year. And I've caught a 2-pound shellcracker at it on a bed, but that's about as big as I've ever caught.
Oh, that's a stud. That lake you're talking about there, we have Junior Proctor, Blue Dog Catfishing. He fishes that lake a lot, and I'm very familiar with Junior, so I know there's great catfish on it, and those big cats need some of them big shell crackers to chew on once in a while.
Yeah, the crappie man back in the day, before he started doing a lot of crappie fishing, he actually caught a 90-something pound catfish out of Monticello.
Oh,
so,
wow.
That was like probably 15 years ago, though.
That was a long time. But yeah, that's a giant. That is.
Yeah, it was big as me when he caught it.
Wow. And the crappie man, that's your father? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. He everybody just started calling him that because he could pull up to a bridge or a brush pile that everybody else was fishing and just start, get his limit and leave, and everybody would just get mad at him. So everybody started calling him the crappie man.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Which it still happens today. I mean, we go to bridges, we pull up, we start catching them, and people are just looking at you like, what are you doing? And so we throw them a couple packs of jigs and tell them how to fish, and they still don't catch any most of the time, but we try to learn them.
Why do you think that is?
Honestly, to me, it's more about presentation than a jig. I know as a co-owner of a jig company, I should be like, yeah, buy my jigs, you're going to catch fish, but with live scope and everything, it's 99% about presentation. A loop knot to me is critical. You got to have that loop knot so your jig just looks realistic, and just being at the right spot at the right time, which live scope, as soon as I get it, I'm going to be able to do that a lot more efficiently. So you think I catch them now? Wait till it's installed on the boat.
It might change. It might change a lot of things about the way you fish and what you thought. That's what I hear from a lot of guys who get a hold of it. So it's kind of interesting.
I've been out with it a couple times now.
Mm-hmm. And what's the one thing that stood out that you learned? Is there anything?
When you're fishing like standing timber or a brush pile that's in open water, the crappie will come off the brush pile and get under your boat, and for the shade. It's unreal. You think the crappie leave, but literally you move the boat 5 feet and you move the live scope and you can see all the crappie that was under your boat.
couple of things I want to see if I ever get a chance to fish with livescope is how they react to trolling motors, and if it's true about them only eating from above.
It's not.
That's what I've heard, but I gotta see it for myself though. That's the thing.
Like
I've never seen it ice fishing on my sonar. I've never seen it. I've always seen them come up. I've never seen them go down. So I'd like to see it on livescope. So that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to.
Well, if you've ever trolled for crappie, you always notice the bigger fish come from the back of the boat, always. But that's because when you go through the school of them, the bigger fish are spread out and they'll circle around and come back to your boat and they'll bite your jig that's out there like 10 feet from the boat.
Nice. That's when you're rolling right over brush piles and stuff is when you're finding that to happen?
Yeah.
That's good to know. I'm going to try that this summer. And how far back are you trolling when you're long lining?
It really depends on the mood. I really only like long lining and trolling in shallow water, like 8 to 10 feet. So it's really not that much.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm a 20 feet to 30 feet brush pile fisherman.
And it's all vertical jigging?
Yeah.
And when you mentioned bridges, how are you fishing those bridges?
I don't know if you've ever watched the channel, but I have a rod that's 4'11" by B&M, and that is my absolute favorite rod. And I'm myself is I'm 6'4", so that 4'11" rod looks weird when I'm fishing. It looks like an ice rod,
like a dock demon, right?
Yeah, but I can shoot that rod wherever I want it to go, and I love to fish under my trolling motor. Like my front graph is on my trolling motor, and I would literally put my rod next to the trolling motor and use it kind of like livescope, I guess.
So you're pretty much like ice fishing them, but on open water.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can see them come up and stuff. Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. I do that off the back of my boat, which is kind of harder to keep it in one place, but that's where my expensive transducer is, not the cheap one I got in front, so it works out better for me.
Hey,
so
I use a Humminbird Piranha Max in the front, so
that's all you got to do is just
catch fish.
Mm-hmm. Good. That gives me a little hope this year. So I got a cheaper.
That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing you never have been ice fishing.
No,
me either. Do you have a desire to go?
I wouldn't mind trying it, but I would have to be in one of them huts with the heaters.
That's what I'm talking about.
Getting Lyle out to the hut would be the hard part.
Yeah, getting me to get on that ice to start with is going to be tough.
It sounds fun with like the tip ups and stuff, though, to be running out there, sliding across the ice, trying to get them. That'd be fun.
I've seen some of the most fun stuff on ice this year watching, and I've watched a lot of ice fishing videos where guys caught a lot of fish and had a lot of fun. But I'm probably going to want to be in a boat, and you can just slide the boat across the ice for me with the heater in it. But I would like to catch some big yellow perch. I got something about them that I think it's because Mark said they taste so good. Why I want to try them.
Absolutely do.
We got a lot of white perch down here, which they're fun to catch, but really easy to catch.
Really,
kind of like a striper. If you find them, you can catch them, but if you don't, you don't.
That's
perch are the same way. If you get into a school, if you got either minnows or jigs or even shrimp, works really, really well for them. I'm right outside of, well, not right outside. I'm about 30 miles outside of Chicago. So in the dead of winter, we'll head out to Lake Michigan and catch them off of Navy Pier, and you can get some pretty decent, like 12, 13 inches if you weed through them. But they're everywhere, man. I've seen footage of them down there, so they're a lot of fun to catch. But a 15 fish limit, you're looking at 2 hours and you're done, even if you're bad at it. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
they do taste good.
It'd be fun, but I do you ever do any dock shooting?
Oh yeah, that's my main thing. I love docks.
Well, we had Darren Kim on here a while back, and it's what main thing he does up Lake the Ozark, and I want to learn how to do that, and I want to learn without getting that jig in my finger.
I don't have a rod in here, but hold on, I got a pack of jig heads. It's really simple. You just want to take your jig, like you want to take your jig and you want to hold it down here so that you don't get hooked. And you put your rod here and you let the jig go out Whereas like this, you won't get hooked at all.
That's what I'm talking about, because I don't want that hook in my finger. I've dug enough of them out over the years. I don't need to do it again. But it seems to me like with a little practice, you could get good enough at that. And they're up in that shade underneath them docks. So if you get that jig to them, you should be able to catch them.
Well, I don't know what y'all do up there, but we have a thing here that I like to call the Carolina jig pole, where you take about this much line and you literally stick the pole under the dock until you feel a fish. You'll hit the spool of crappie with your pole, and then you'll get bit. I don't understand it,
Really?
but it works. Yeah, it's like an old timey technique. You put like 5 foot or 3 to 5 foot of line out, and you ram your pole under the dock until you find a fish, and you'll get bit.
I'm gonna try. And you're talking about with the long pole, right? Like a 12.
Yeah, like
at
a
least?
10 to 12 foot. Yeah,
10 to 12 footer.
I
I was watching Blue Gabe do that in Florida, where he was fishing the really heavy reeds, and he'd actually pull a jig up to the tip of his thing and stick it in like the most nastiest looking reeds on Lake Okeechobee, and he was pulling out tankers out of, you wouldn't believe what it was. So I was thinking about trying that under docks and some of the brush piles we have here up in northern Illinois. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try that.
you could. I mean, you like if you got a real sensitive pole, you can like feel the fish as you hit them above the brush pile, and it's unreal the reaction strike you get after you do that.
Wow.
So what kind of, when you're shooting docks, what kind of gear are you using as far as like your pole and line and reel and stuff?
Shooting docks, I use a 4'11" B&M pole. I forget the name of it.
That's the same one you use at the bridges?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 4-pound test Mr. Crappie line. I like the high vis line. Mm-hmm. And a 132 ounce jig head and 1R jigs.
Okay, so you're going with
did you say a 132nd ounce jig?
Yeah, I don't fish anything above 132nd.
Oh, you don't?
We classify ourselves as a finesse jig company because, I don't know, finesse jigs get bit more to us than bigger jigs. Like, all our jigs are like 1.5 inch or less.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, now I need to go place an order after the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I mean,
if you
most
watch
of the
some
things...
of the podcasts from the pros, like the actual high crappie pros, they said that on the live scope and everything, they'll be pitching a 2-inch or whatever, and they won't hit it, and then they'll switch to either a smaller hair jig or a smaller plastic, and they'll knock it out of the park.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't tournament fish, but when I'm fishing for crappie, I always just start larger and work my way down until, as if I know there's fish there, I'll work my way down, and that's usually been pretty successful for me.
So, Stephen, I got the chartreuse color of the
Crappieman green.
Yeah. Now, how many different color options do you offer?
Oh, I really don't know off the top of my head. Well, probably more than 10.
Oh, wow. And how many different body styles do you guys offer?
We have what we call the little minnow, which is, I think, what you bought. It's like a little shad. We call that the little minnow. And then this one right here, hang on, is called the little stinker.
That's the one. Nope, I didn't get that one. I got one look like a
And it's like a two body with a sharp tail.
That's got a sharp tail, okay.
Yeah. We call that the little stinker.
So it's like an oversized little fry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then we have what we call the little stabber. And this basically right here with the paddle tail on it. But it's got two bodies on it, so you could actually rip the body off the top and make a smaller jig if you wanted to. And then we have a little 1.5 inch curly tail jig, but I don't think I have any with me right now. And we're also getting into swim baits too. Like, we just now started making these little 3-inch swim baits.
I use a 2-inch swim bait like that. If you guys get a chance, you should make one of those because they're deadly up here. In the middle of summer, they work really well. I imagine if I picked up a couple of those 3s from you, biting an inch off of it probably would do the same thing. So
yeah,
they work really, really well.
I've also got into painting crankbaits too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
So those will be for sale soon.
Nice.
It's a process. Just got to keep investing into it and doing what people like and showing people that they actually do catch fish, a lot of fish at that. Because I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I haven't been not limited out fishing in a long time.
I wish I could say the same thing. I was skunked
But
today.
it all
but
comes down to electronics. If I'm not getting bit, I mean, I'll run that whole lake until I find them on the graph.
Yeah. Do you think that if you find them, you can catch them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're going to bite something.
That's what I figured, because I watched enough of your videos, and eventually you're into them.
Yeah, if I got one video, it's almost like 70,000 views or something, and like honestly, if I can find that one cast that catches one, it's game on then, because I know what depth of fish, I know what they wanted, I know if they wanted it popped up, I want it dead still.
Right.
You ever find that you do catch that one fish and you can't get any of the other ones to bite? I run across that once in a while and I just can't figure it out.
Certain times of year, I can pull up to a dock that's loaded and only catch 3 off of it. But
Yeah.
if that's the pattern for the day, you just got to go from dock to dock and catch those 3 until you limit out.
Okay.
Betty Jean Cross would like to know, what's your personal best crappie?
My personal best is honestly a 15 and a half inch 2.03. Not very big.
That's pretty good size for a lot of people.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to go to Santee and catch a big 3 sometime soon.
That would be a huge deal. A 3-pound crappie is a major fish.
I'd be happy with that too every now and then.
I had a buddy catch a 4-pounder last week, and I'm like,
wow.
come on, man. It came out of it's like a local lake upstate, though. It's a small lake. They got pretty big ones in there.
Do you do any shell cracker fishing to mount anything?
If they're on beds, I do what I call camouflage fishing, where I put camo on and I get on the bank and I throw the worm out there and I hide behind a tree until I get bit. If that makes sense, because it seems like if you're standing on the bank while they're bedding, they run away.
Really?
You know, I just got to, well, actually, I've just got run reading again the Jeremy Wade book, Think Like a Fish, and that's exactly one of his tactics for fishing from the bank is hide from the fish. You got to do it, and he says you'll up your percentage like 50%, even if it's crouching down or getting behind a tree. If you can do that, you're going to up your percentage. So that's pretty cool thinking on your part.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tiger, at Monticello, where the stumps are. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's really the only place I shell cracker fish. Like, I do it about once or twice a year.
That'd be fun, though. They got some giants down there, that's for sure.
So when you're live scoping, are you still using that 4-foot pole, or are you changing it up a little bit?
No, I'm use a 13-foot probably.
13-foot, so
ACC.
you're vertical jigging. Yeah, those ACCs, they make some good stuff. Maybe we can talk Lyle into making me a 13-foot pole.
The problem with me doing it is the blanks on them long ones are so expensive, because I can't buy the numbers of cheap blanks like them overseas guys do to make them. And the ones that I do, the blanks would be really, really expensive. But I can always check. Tens I know I can get.
I mean, 10-foot pole will probably work, but I'm just going overboard really with the 13.
Yeah, I have a 10-foot B&M that I use quite a bit, which works out really well. I plan on really hitting the vertical jigging this year. I'm having a hard time in my little boat staying on top of brush piles, but I promised SK, who's in the chat, that I was going to try this year, and he says I could go. And he says he has faith that I'd be able to do it, so we're going to try it. Any tips on doing that? Staying over brush piles in a small boat with an Altera trolling motor? I can use them.
I don't know. I might make you mad because I have a 16-foot John boat that leaks 24/7, and my trolling motor has 2 speeds. It has 3 and fast. So
just keep hitting it.
Honestly, you know, on the I don't know if they even put it on trolling motors anymore. There's a lever that you flip that keeps the trolling motor spinning.
Mm-hmm.
If it's windy, I use that as spot lock. I just turn it on and try to keep it there and put it on whatever speed that'll keep me on top of it. Because your trolling motor won't scare them off as long as you're running it constantly. Now, if you're going on and off, that'll scare them off. But
Is
if
that
you're
what it
just
is?
sitting there running, yeah. I mean, the live scope proves that point. Like, if you're constantly running it, they won't run. But if you're running it and then cutting it off, running it and cutting it off, they'll spook. But they'll come back.
No, how shallow water is that not true, though? Because I fish in some pretty shallow stuff. I'm in 7 feet of water casting to them just to get towards some docks or some brush piles that I know. And it seems like if I get anywhere near them with that trolling motor, they're gone. I can't get them to. Well, it takes a while for them to come back, but as soon as I turn that trolling motor back on, they seem to take off.
Well, that may be better with the pole, though. Like, if you're on at 7 foot, the bank's probably not too far, or the brush pile or dock's probably not too far away from it. The pole may be your answer.
I hate to break this to you two, but I just got a message from Lee Reed and a picture of a 17-inch crappie.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, the one caught this past week that broke the record?
My God. No, this is from Nebraska.
Oh, God.
Or Iowa. I think it's Iowa he lives. Yeah, Iowa. It is. You got it beside a beer can, and it's unbelievable. It makes that beer can embarrassed. It's trying to hide its face. That's a giant, man. Wow. I don't believe I've ever. In fact, I know I've never seen a 17-inch crappie before. That's just a stud. But he just now sent me that picture. I thought I'd share that with you guys. It's friggin' huge, man. So, what's your favorite time of the year to fish, Steve?
It depends if I need to fill the freezer or if I want to catch a big one. Honestly, to fill the freezer, summertime is honestly the easiest time to catch them under bridges and stuff. And then wintertime is better for the bigger fish out deep for me.
So in the summer, you're looking for shade. Is that why they're in the bridges? Any structure and shade for them to hide in?
Yeah, they get up on the pylons and stuff, and they're really easy to locate with the depth finder on bridges.
So do you think that they're any better eating in the wintertime than the summer?
Yeah, they're mushy in the summer.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I don't know about up there, but we get water temps of 90 down here.
Yeah.
So it gets
we get pretty close to in the summer. We'll get up near 90, if not at 90. So it's even on the rivers. So I know what you mean about them being a little mushy. Do you do anything to be able to firm that meat up, or is it a lost cause?
If it's the summertime, honestly, I put them in ice overnight, and then I clean them that morning, and we eat them the same day.
Okay. So when you're getting them in the winter, that's when you're putting them in the freezer, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. I've heard rumors. I haven't tried this about like a saltwater brine kind of helps firm them up a little bit. So I was going to try that this summer.
Probably wouldn't hurt to try.
I need to interrupt in here just a second. We have Carpin down under, and I believe he's from Australia, if I'm not mistaken. And he wants to know if we ever come across Wells catfish in the USA. And we don't have Wells catfish here. Kind of wish we did. But we're living vicariously through the guys out your direction and above that catches those, and we watch guys on YouTube catch those giants because we just don't have them here. We got flatheads, blues, channels, whites out east, and a few other catfish specific lines, but those are the main ones that we have. But thanks for joining, Panfish Nation. We appreciate having you in here so much.
Ernie Brown says they use salt water and lemon juice overnight before freezing them up. So that could be a good tip for something to try too. So what's your biggest bass? You mentioned you do some bass tournaments too.
8 pounds. Oh, yeah. I was reading the chat. People kept asking about the twister tail. I found some.
Oh, cool.
So that's the 1.5-inch twister tail right there.
And they can just find those at crappieman.com, I'm guessing?
Crappieman Jigs with a S.com.
All right. Crappieman Jigs with an S.com.
Yeah, and they're very reasonably priced. I bought some because I didn't have any. Like I say, I wished I'd have got a whole bunch more. So we're going to be filling that out.
Can you, Steven, can you ever have enough?
Enough what, jigs?
Yeah.
Or,
enough crappie jigs.
Honestly,
No.
Yeah. Well, I use probably 2 boxes though. Honestly, I use the chartreuse and then whatever color I'm testing for the website.
Really?
Thank you, Chad, for putting his website up there.
I use
the color we call Crappieman green. 365 days a year. Honestly, I don't understand it.
Have to pick up a couple bags. That chartreuse is killer. Monkey milk works for me. You know what color I really have a hard time with that I don't have any luck up here is pink. Everybody swears by pink. I can't catch anything on it. I don't know what it is. But I'll still
I've used
try.
them before. Not much luck on pink myself.
Now, do you think this is the hot topic now out there in the crappie trail, I guess, is color matter as much as silhouette?
I don't know. I'm a co-owner of a jig company. I want you to buy all the colors.
Well, I get that, but I mean, obviously, but if they need all the, well, never mind. I apologize for that.
No, I'll answer. Honestly, it's all about presentation. Like
presentation.
If your bait looks like what they're eating, honestly, they're probably going to eat it if they're going to eat it. So you could probably fish with a clear. Well, they've actually proved it. A guy went out on a river that was completely flooded and muddied up. I mean, you had no visibility. Dropped his jig down with livescope with a clear jig, nothing in it, and the fish reacted to that jig in the water.
No flake or anything, huh?
Nothing. It was just a clear, straight shot of plastic.
Those black jigs always amaze me how they can see those, but they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So what kind of boat are you running for the tournaments?
This weekend I'm fishing on my buddy's boat. I think he's got a nitro, I want to say. But
okay.
Normally I'm in a Ranger, and I've got my 16-foot Polarcraft that has a crack in it.
Man, you need to get that ticket out of that Polarcraft.
Yeah. Well, it was actually my dad's boat before mine. He got another boat and gave it to me. So there's been thousands of crappie in that boat, probably.
It's amazing. How many videos do you have out?
Around 130 something, I want to say.
I sat there for 2 days and done nothing but watched them. And I know I didn't see them all.
I guess that's my number one thing. People get mad because I tell them where to go fish, but I mean, I want to see.
I was impressed with the one that you done that you was showing everybody where all your spots was. I thought, it doesn't matter because if they're not there when you get there, they'll be there later or whatever.
Yeah, my areas get fished. I can't tell you how many people I meet on the water that watch the videos just sitting on the brush pile because they watch the video. It don't make me mad, but it is what it is. I'll come behind them and catch fish behind them. So
the ones they missed.
Yeah, and a lot of them I'll pull up that one dock that's always in the video. It's a really special dock. It's in 40 foot of water, and the guy puts out probably 20 trees on it every year.
Oh man!
And I can pull up there. They say they're not biting, and I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And then I start catching them, and they just get mad. But
hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, these guys are killing me now. Roger DeMint just sent me a picture of 2 crappie that he caught, 116 and 117.
Oh, he says I have 171 videos. I didn't think I had that many.
That's cool. That's awesome. Sounds like I need another couple days.
I should be hitting 3,000 subscribers soon, though, because I'm getting like
on that.
20 and 30 subscribers a day now. So it should be
awesome.
Probably a couple days.
How long have you been doing the YouTube game?
About 2 years now.
2 years?
About the first year was kind of I'd post whenever, but now I'm pretty much on a schedule and all that. So
how many you try to do a week?
I want to do Monday and Fridays, but normally it's just Fridays, depending on when I can get out. I mean, I have 5 kids, so it's kind of iffy some weeks.
Yeah, it's hard to keep that consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, It is. Honestly, it's all about, like, I like to go out and shoot multiple videos in one day. And that way I can stockpile and release stuff on time.
You got to catch a lot of fish to be able to do that, though, don't you?
Yeah, or use different techniques to do it.
Oh, very cool. So how old are your kids?
I have a 17, a 15, a 13, 11, and 9.
Well, you look awfully young to have all those kids
That's
at those
what I
ages.
was
I
Well,
was just getting to the. Are they into crappie fishing? Is my question.
One of them, he likes to go a lot, but the other ones, they'll rather be at home.
That'll change. They come back to you after a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm old enough to know they come back to you after that. Some of that later. And,
With 5 kids, you got to catch a lot of crappie if you're going to have them for dinner, though. Right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
What's your favorite way to eat crappie? Let's get to the important stuff here.
Frank's Red Hot, straight cornmeal.
Straight cornmeal? You're a cornmeal guy?
Yeah.
there you go.
You just put Frank's Red Hot in a bag, shake it up, and then straight in the cornmeal, straight in the fryer.
What kind of oil are you using? Are you going for the peanut oil or do you use something else?
Normally vegetable because it's cheaper.
It's definitely cheaper. Lyle, how do you like it? On a plate?
Yeah, well, pretty much.
That's me.
It makes a lot of difference. I can have a hot or cold and be happy either way, pretty much.
Well, you got to have your Bush's baked beans and your potatoes and onions.
I like potato salad, but yeah, I like sliced onions with mine. And we have a company here out of St. Louis called Andy's, and they have several flavors, but the Andy's Red is pretty spicy, and that's the one I like. And then they have Cajun, and they're both good. So I just mix it up. It's easy for me to do. But Betty wants to know if you like them filleted or whole.
Filleted. I don't really like the bone picking game.
I don't either. I take them filleted myself.
The only whole fish I like is trout. We go up to the mountains about once a year and catch our limit of trout and cook them right there on the grill on the side of the stream. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fun.
That is pretty good. That's a good time too.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Parker Pursuit says Andy's is the bomb. I think it is, and the red is the best. Total angling experience. I love that stuff.
We also got Stu from Total Angling Experience in Coon Creek. What's going on, Stu?
Glad to have them all in here tonight. Stephen Corley, but whoop, I lost his. It got out of sight on me. Cornmeal batter is very southern. That is correct.
But I'm a panko and regular breadcrumb kind of fan myself. I kind of mix the two together. Yeah, that works for me. I guess it's all where you're from. But that Frank's, I think that's pretty universal. If you like a little spice in that vinegar taste, you can't go wrong with that.
I kind of think you ought to add a little to most of it anyhow.
Or some really hot stuff. I'll go the habanero when I'm able to. So
well, my stomach won't take at it much anymore, but I like it.
So how many days a year are you fishing?
Every one I can, honestly. If the wind's not above 10 miles an hour and it's not on the weekends, I'm normally there. The only time I really fish on the weekends if it's a tournament. So, okay. But I mean, with the jigs and the YouTube revenue and everything, and my old lady makes pretty good money, so it's my full-time gig, really.
Cool.
And I'm studying to take the captain's test, so I'm probably gonna start guiding here in a couple months, and that'd be pretty fun, I believe. As soon as I want to start something where the name of it's gonna be like one pole guide or something, where I take people out and let them use livescope and catch fish.
There you go. And it's good that you're taking the captain's courses too. We're firm believers, aren't we, Lyle? And making sure you take care of that and go that extra mile to make sure that you're doing everything right and that your guests are safe. So that's pretty important.
Yes,
absolutely. Louisiana Cajun seasoning fish fry is Stephen Corley's favorite.
I don't know. I don't think I've had one that I didn't like, to be honest with you.
No, I haven't either. They're all good. Betty Jean says that the kind that she likes best is hers, which I'm sure it's great.
I know what it is too. If she's not nice to me, I'm going to tell everybody too her secret recipe.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to piss her off. We got to go up and fish with her. in Mendota here for long. Oh man!
All right,
Steve,
Stan's got a question for someone that is just trying to get back into crappie fishing, or for someone new to crappie fishing. Where should they start?
great question.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Yeah, they're asking you.
All right. So if you're brand new to crappie fishing, I would suggest, honestly, just go out and get you. They got combos at Walmart for about $20. That's about 6 foot. It comes with, I think, 8-pound line on it. You want to take all that line off and put like 6-pound Mr. Crappie line, which you can also get at Walmart. Get you a pack of Bobby Garland jigs and jig heads at Walmart, and go out and fish every dock that's deeper than 10 foot of water, and eventually you will find a crappie. That's what I would do if I was just starting out.
How much time should they be spending on a dock?
One cast down the side, one cast down the front, and one cast on the side, on the other side, and go to the next one. If that school's active, you're going to get bit.
All right, let's say they are in 10 feet of water. How deep should they start at?
I would start 4.
4 feet, so go,
I would honestly never go over 12, like in any depth of water. I rarely ever catch a crappie over 12.
Okay. Well, no,
even
I'm talking
in like
about
30 foot of water.
How deep should they be fishing, I guess, is the question, rather than the depth of the water. So let's say if they're in 10 feet of water, keep their jigging what, the 6 foot range, the 8 foot range, what?
That's a hard question. Honestly, I would start like probably 4 to 5 foot. I would let it go down 4 to 5 foot.
Okay.
How far
If there's
will come after one, Stephen?
If you got like 10 foot visibility, they'll come pretty far. But most of the time, they school on like around the active ones will be over the brush. That's why I'm saying don't go all the way down in the brush.
Okay. That's where right now, with what most of us has got, side imaging will help you a great deal, because that side imaging will show you how high the brush is in the water column, and it'll show you the fish above it and in it, and then you're just going to have to figure out, look over to the side of your side image again and say, well, that's at 5 foot, so you want to be fishing above that line.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
Like even on the Piranha Max up front, if I see fish that's in 8 foot of water, I want to fish 6 foot of water.
Right.
Because even though I know they'll go down and bite, there's a lot better chance they're going to come up and bite.
And that's because where their eyes are positioned on their body, correct?
Yeah, they don't like to roll. Like even when they're spawning, they really don't like to roll on anything. So, but,
Ohioan for Life asks, is there anything being done to prevent the use of crappie as a kind of bait, where people can catch the crappie and not eat it, just use it for bait? I believe if crappie in a lot of states, I'll just answer this real quick because I live in Illinois and that's a big issue over here.
Yeah.
If crappie is considered a sport fish, you can't cast net it and you can't use it for bait if there's a size and a creel limit on that water.
That's correct.
That's usually the case in a lot of states that I know. There might be exceptions. I'm going to give the disclaimer about check your local regulations or the regulations of the body of the water you're fishing on, because a lot of times it's body of water specific.
There's only a few places in the United States that allows crappie used for bait, and as far as I know, they're all out on the East Coast. Are things like crappie nibbles play for really experienced fishermen?
in my opinion, they're a waste of money.
Okay.
Just to be blunt about it, they come off the hook too easy. They do make a jig head though. Honestly, the top of it's hollowed out, and you could put the crappie nibble in the jig head, and those are kind of good for it. But just putting it on the hook, it falls off too often.
Okay, I seen here it is someone new to our chat, Midwest Custom Jigs. I don't believe I've seen them in there before. Welcome to Panfish Nation. Thank you for joining tonight. And there's TX Tiger, another one that I'm not familiar with. We're glad to have you in here. Trying to make sure I get everybody that I see, especially the new people, because we want you to come back and enjoy your time with us. But yeah.
How do you feel about scent?
Scent, I 100% agree with. I
You
use Rooster Tail shad spray. I got it at
Mhm.
clearance at Walmart, and I bought every one they had. But I use that, and they make a bass scent called Mayhem. They have a shad scent in that, and I use it also, especially when the water's muddy. Yeah,
You
No,
said
I just-
especially when the water's muddy.
yeah. I believe scent plays a big part in the muddy water.
Okay.
You had mentioned shad, and when I get into the saw crappie, which is probably the next week or so, I'm waiting for the tulips to pop here. As soon as they pop, it's game on. It seems to be, but I'll find them with bellies full of shad. I mean, big shad too, a lot. So that makes sense to me. But last week I limited out on a bunch of decent sized ones, and every single one of them when I filleted them had empty bellies. You ever come across any of that?
Well.
It really had me puzzled. They were like premature eggs. They were really small amount of them in the females that were there.
So they may just be coming out of their winter haunts and just haven't started feeding it. You might have just caught them right when they started or something.
Yeah, I think so. I caught them in the flats, and then it snowed the next day, and they were gone again. So I was kind of upset about that. But it was really odd. I figured I might ask somebody who fishes them a lot more than I do. So.
But and another tip, I was reading the chat. Like, if you catch a fish on the jig, don't change your jig. If you can thread that jig on to its last limb, use it. Because I catch more fish after I catch one than when I put a new one on. I don't understand it, but it may just be one of them conscience things that you're on the water. That's your confidence. But if I catch one, it's got that crappie scent on it, I'm going to catch a lot more on it.
It worked once, it worked the other. How long before you take it off? It's got to be falling off the hook, or you had mentioned presentation's important. If it's hanging halfway off the hook and it won't stay on there right, does that make a big deal?
I won't put it if it's halfway off, but if it'll thread and actually look like the presentation that I'm trying to present, then I'll put it on there. Like, even with the minnow, you can flip it upside down and rethread it. And so, I mean, you can catch 10 to 15 crappie easy off one bait doing it that way.
So you think that after a fish has been caught on a bait, the scent of being caught would entice other fish to bite?
I just think the slime from the fish is on the bait, and I don't know. It could just be a personal thing.
But wouldn't that have to be the scent of it?
Yeah, I suppose it would be like a slime.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, because most fish are kind of cannibalistic. It's not that they go out searching for like fish to eat, but they're all opportunists. So if something comes along and they're hungry and it's smaller, they will probably eat it. So if them baits have the scent of another fish on it, I would say that would be an attractant.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're going with that, which would entice me to want to use the same one as long as I could, just like you're saying.
Oh yeah, that's I endorse that. Use the same jig until it don't look like a jig no more.
Something worked the first time is bound to work a second time. So why change it if it ain't broke, right? It's like leaving fish to catch fish. So.
Exactly. Trying to make sure we don't have anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get people. We want to make sure we don't miss any questions.
Tonight, but man, Stephen, you've given us a lot to think about tonight. I want to thank you for coming on here and being part of Panfish Nation with us tonight. I'm sorry you had the trouble getting in here, or we didn't get cleared away on that. But man, you talked about scents and baits and livescope and did you say you already have your livescope now?
I ordered it yesterday, so it should be here next week.
Did you take advantage of that $200 rebate? I hope.
I hope. Honestly, I gotta get it before I get it, I guess.
All right.
Well, how about we have it come to meeting here and And would you agree to come back on here after you get that and get everything run down? And
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I had a blast tonight.
Yeah,
I've never done one with something like this, so it was fun.
Well, yeah, you had to know when I ordered stuff from you and messaged you a couple of times. We're going to do something.
Honestly, I don't look at the names that ordered. So if you use your real name, I didn't even know I sent you jigs. Honestly,
wow.
We get like some weeks we get so many orders. It's just I print the shipping and it goes out the door.
I'll tell you what, when you see my order come through tonight or tomorrow and you see my last name, you're going to know it's me because it's probably one of the most messed up names you're going to ever see. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but you'll figure it out.
I got one order while we're sitting here. I don't know if it was a viewer, but Lee Reed, appreciate the order.
Yeah, Lee's a viewer. Lee's a good guy.
That sent the pictures of them crappie wall.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
that's cool.
Appreciate it. I'll get your order out tomorrow.
But yeah, I'd like for you to tell us about how well you like that new imaging.
Well, the main thing with livescope that I really want to try is, I mean, we if we invest in getting another mold for the company, I want to see how the fish react to that mold or the bait differently than they react to the other baits that we sell. So do a comparison and do a color comparison, why they like the chartreuse so much. I really want to figure out. So that's one main thing of it, to see why they react so good to the chartreuse than the other color. Or if it's just in my head that they're going to bite the chartreuse and I'm going to keep throwing it until they do.
Something I'm curious to know about is you're close and personal with crappie a lot of times. How much?
Yeah, I fish right on top of the brush 90% of the time.
I want to see if that live scope, you should be able to tell how much noise affects those fish. And if they run off, and do they come right back, or are they skittish? Or,
yeah, I'd like to see that also.
You know, I find things like that extremely interesting. And now with the live scope, and even with the new stuff that Bird's coming out with, and Lawrence and some of that stuff, we're going to be able to see things to determine what we've been doing right or wrong for hundreds of years before. So I know very little about that. I do have a 360 unit, and I like it, but it doesn't do what live scope or this new stuff that these other companies are coming out with. So yeah, once you get that, I would be really glad to have you back on here and let us tell you what you found and how you like it and how everything's going. And by then, Mark's really going to be flopping at the jaws because, man, he's wanting one so bad right now, it's not even funny.
It's got to wait till I get my next boat. I can't add more to my little boat right now. So maybe next year we'll see what happens. And whenever you buy something else comes out. That's
that's why I haven't got it for so long. I love Hummingbird. Hummingbird to me just has a clearer image than anything else. But they said at the end of February they were going to come out with their live, and it's like halfway into March, and I haven't seen none, and I can't wait any longer.
Latest is May. I had on my channel, Catfish and Crappie, we had the guys from Russell Marine Products. They were great, and they said what they were being told now was mid-May.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I just couldn't wait no longer. I mean, as a tournament angler, I cannot not have it.
Well, them other guys get too far out on you.
Yeah, I mean, the past 4 weekends of bass and crappie tournaments all won with live scope. There was no contest. Every tournament has been won with live scope.
And I think, especially in the crappie and bass industry, there's going to be more and more of that. I'm not sure about the catfish industry. I'm sure that there's a difference, and the guys that are on top of it already know that difference, and the guys that don't have it, they're figuring it out. But especially crappie and bass, I can really see the difference there.
Well, I was fishing a brush pile in about 7 foot of water about a month ago with a guy that had a 12-inch Garmin, and I actually seen probably a 15-pound catfish, like a big blob on the screen, just come up and hit my jig and break me off as soon. It was really cool to watch.
Wow!
So you can definitely see the catfish on there.
Yeah, I'm sure. The thing I'm concerned with on LiveScope is, will it work in 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 feet of water? And how accurate is it?
I don't know about the forward view. I know you can see you start seeing stuff around 60 foot in front of your boat. So I don't know about, but they have a down view, but you don't really hear much talk about the down view. So I'm not sure about it. So, like you said, next time we talk, I should know a lot more because
Absolutely. Well,
I'm pretty full on. If I got to learn something, I'm going to learn it.
Yeah, I understand. Tell everybody where they can check out your stuff and visit you online.
Crappieman Jigs with an S.com. You order a jig. I think somebody asked what colors I recommend. Crappieman Green, Purple Haze, and we have a color that's like monkey milk called Blue Pepper. That would be my top 3. And you can check the YouTube channel out at youtube.com/Turner Fishing.
All right.
We've been sharing out that link during the show, so if you guys saw that, please scroll back, give them a sub. We'd appreciate it. Head out over to Crappieman Jigs and go get you some.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Stephen, for joining us tonight, and we'll look forward to getting you back on here discussing that live scope.
Stephen, are you on any social media as well, or?
Facebook is Turner Fishing on YouTube, and Instagram is Turner Fishing.
Perfect. We'll check those out as well.
All right. All right. I want to thank everybody else in chat for being part of the show tonight. We appreciate it. Be sure to tune in Monday night for Catfish Weekly and for Catfish and Crappie after Catfish Weekly.
Please do.
And don't forget to go over and check Chad's show out, Fishing with the Chad, on Thursday nights, and subscribe. He's getting really close to some big numbers. We want to help him out all we can. So, until next week, we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.